I look like I just got out of bed. I didn't just get out of bed. Hello. I never know how to start videos, so we're just gonna jump in on it today. I am the creator of Barbie with Plants. There's not much to say about that. We're on Instagram and we have a plant care website. One of our most recent posts is on this beauty, which is the plant we're going to talk about today, the Cercestis Mirabilis. I call it something different every time I say it. I've said Cercestis Mirabilis, Cercestis Mirabilis, Cercestis Mirabilis, Cercestis Mirabilis. It's this plant, it's gorgeous. Look at the leaves. So just a tad bit of backstory. I used to have one. I got one the beginning of this year. This is not her. And she actually did not get moved with me when I moved. So we'll just set her in front right here. Where's her big leaf? Over here. So I got another one. You know. I mean, these leaves are wicked cool. Like, I couldn't not get one. We'll just set her in my lap so you can just stare. There is actually, I think I want to put her over here. Get that solid white background. There we go. Okay, so I have my post pulled up right here, and I'm going to kind of go through it so that if you don't like to read, you can just listen. The way that my posts are broken down when it's information on plants is that we have some of the backstory, like where did it come from, who, if I can find who found it, I talk about that, and then we go into care and propagation. So the care is light, temperature, humidity, watering, everything in between. So yeah, diving in. The cool thing about this plant is there's not a lot of information out there on her, so I really wanted to put out a good post with a substantial amount of information so people can find out more about this plant in one place rather than having to look all over the internet for bits and pieces of information. So even though we went over his name, the actual name of this plant is the African embossed Cercestis. And as the name says, it actually is native to Africa, and it is a vining plant. So this is why it has the stakes here, because it likes to grow up. We'll probably eventually, she's kind of pushing out roots at the bottom, so I will probably eventually put her, or him, he looks like a him. I'll probably put him on a thick spag moss pole, probably, but I'll update that if I do. So I do want to point out real quick that this is not a cheap plant. When I got my cutting in, I think it was like February, it was a 2-leaf cutting, and I think I paid about $70 for it. And just to now, which it is the middle of November, just till now, I can't find anything that is less than about $200, even for like a 1-leaf cutting. I can't. I'm sure they're out there, especially in like Facebook groups and stuff like that. I'm sure you can find one, but it's gonna take a bit of work. They're hard to find plants anyways, much less on a super tight budget. So just keep that in mind as you watch the rest of this video. It might be a wish list plant for you. You might think it's just completely over the top. I think she is totally worth it. The leaves are just splendidly beautiful. So I'll let you make that decision. But you should probably budget for this plant. So going into the physical appearance, it's pretty easy to show you the physical appearance on here because this is a video where I have the plant and I can just show you the plant. So these leaves, as gorgeous as they are actually juvenile leaves. So this is not the adult form of this plant. This is seemingly a baby leaf, and it can take up to 5 years to actually mature. Oddly enough, and I hope nothing is wrong with my plants, sometimes they can bring in color later, and oftentimes I think they do. I couldn't find that, but this leaf, this is the newest leaf that it has put out. What are you? Are you sick? Oh, okay. You've been there. It's false alarm. False alarm. This leaf the solid green, theoretically, this is what it would mature to look like. Way bigger leaves, but it would be that solid green rather than the white, veiny Hulk and Jurassic Park vibes that I just freaking adore. Just to show you the size, so here, this is my hand to the biggest leaf on this mama. Whoa. Whoa. She's so perfect. I love it. These plants do flower more so in the summer, and they're said to have yellow flowers. I have not seen a flowering one. I don't think I will have the right conditions for this one to ever flower, but the possibility is there in the right conditions, meaning basically in the jungle, in its natural habitat, it can flower. So going into the care of the Cercestis Mirabilis. The light conditions. So it can go in bright and direct light. It will work, but it actually thrives in lower light conditions. So I like to explain it as thinking of it in its natural habitat, like you need to do with most plants. This is a very big plant in the jungle, but it is more of a lower plant. So even though it climbs, it's gonna have a lot on top of it. So think about the sun being here, and then say the top of the trees are here. And then there's a couple more plants right here, and then here, even though here's, you can't see it, but like here's the ground, this is probably where the Cercestis Mirabilis is gonna be. So it's gonna be shadowed, and it's gonna have indirect light in a lower area of the jungle. That's what I like to try to mimic. So I have my grow lights that are on the shelves above this plant, so it definitely gets some grow light. Our house is not very, it looks kind of bright in this video, it's not. So I do have a lot of grow lights set up. But this plant gets a lot of the indirect grow light. Grow lights light? Whatever. So it can do good. The more light that it has, I've been told, the better it will put out these veinings, but it's not really a variegation, so I don't think that's true. I am trying to get this leaf to pull out some white, and you can see like all right here and some up here. It's getting more white in it, but I just don't think, I thought the leaves came in with the white veins in them. So I don't know, I'm gonna watch her. She's been quarantined, she's good, she has nothing, she's not sick. So we're just gonna love her. We're just gonna love her a lot and just really just give her the best life that she can have. Moving into the watering routine of this looks ratchet, I'm sorry. Ignore everything in this house. We're just gonna. So for watering, she wants a loose soil. If you hear me say soil, it's soil. I'm not gonna enunciate that every time, but it's soil. So she wants a very well draining soil. I would make your own. She could do good in spag moss, but mine's not in spag, mine's in soil. I'll enunciate every now and then. But for the watering, she doesn't want to dry out. Think of it as a calathea. She doesn't want to be dry, but she also doesn't want to be wet. So she wants to stay fairly damp. Personally, I stick my finger in to right about here, and if it's still moist right there, I leave it alone. And then if it's dry, I'll go a little bit further to like my middle knuckle. And if it's still dry there and not wet, not damp at all, I'll go ahead and give her a good watering, because she does want to retain that moisture. That's what's going to encourage new growth. Moving onward into the humidity section. This baby loves some humidity. When I tell you she's like my calatheas, I mean it wholeheartedly. She gets misted regularly. She stays under the humidifier, and she stays right around my other plants that are her height, so they can just push off their calatheas, that they can just push off moisture from each other and stay humid. Think of it again as what her natural conditions are. She's a jungle plant, so jungles are normally pretty warm and pretty humid. Keep that in mind. If you have some light in your bathroom or you want to add grow light, she would probably love it in there. We have very small and very dark bathrooms, so she does not go in our bathroom. But in my dream home, in my imagination, when I think of the house that I want, even though I'm gonna have a greenhouse. I'm gonna have a beautiful walk-in shower where like this whole side can be plants and you can shower back here. And this is just like bright, indirect window light. How beautiful, how beautiful. I would shower in a jungle. Do like a living wall in the shower. A whole idea right there. That's a mood. That's a mood. It's never gonna happen, but I would love for somebody to make that happen. Okay, so humidity. She wants a lot of humidity. If you don't have a humidifier, I highly recommend getting one. You can go, I will put the blog link in the description below, and you can go check out the humidifier that I recommend. It's from Amazon. You can get it in 2 days. I think it's pretty reasonable. If you don't want that one, you can get any other humidifier in the world that you want. That's perfectly fine. Other ways to up the humidity is, again, getting a continuous mister. You can get them from hair shops, or I have them linked from Amazon. And what are some other ways? You can get glass vases and fill them up with water. It's kind of the same idea as a pebble tray, but it's more aesthetically pleasing on the eye. And you can fill them up with water and just set them kind of in between and around your plants. And that way, it's pushing out the humidity from the moisture of the water in the vase. I don't think it's like a drastic difference if you do that method, but I don't think pebble trays are a drastic difference either. So I would personally just 1000% recommend investing in a decent humidifier. One thing I did want to show you is, once again, she is not sick, but due to a lack of humidity from the previous owner, I hope you can see that. Are you gonna focus? I hope it's focused. Do you see these brown dots? This is from lack of humidity. I really hate that. Yeah, I really hate that, but we're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, but back to care. Like I mentioned earlier, the soil for these babies, you want a pretty well-draining soil. Even though they want to stay fairly moist and they don't want to fully dry out, they still want that water to run through. So basically what's going to happen with the well-draining soil is you're going to have your chunky bits. So you're going to have the water just directly run through, but these things that are in it are going to catch the water and they're going to keep the moisture in it, but the plant isn't just going to stay soaking wet. That's what we want to avoid. So for these soil, I would do well draining. This is the soil that it came in from the nursery, but if you can see, her roots are starting to grow out. So I'll probably be repotting her. I don't know. It's winter, so I really want to wait until spring to repot her, but we'll just have to kind of see how she does. Maybe I'll just add soil to the top. But when I do repot her in the spring, I will do a mix of about, a fourth orchid bark, a fourth regular potting soil, a fourth perlite, and a fourth spag moss, completely all mixed together, and that'll be her soil. And since I've told you many times that she is not sick, we will talk about pests and disease, which is a very sad topic. Luckily, the Cercestis Mirabilis is not prone to any pests, but some people came out and said that when you keep them in a tight, closed like greenhouse or terrarium or container, they can battle red spider mites or scale or thrips. So, and keep in mind, if you have other plants that are sick, this still can't catch that disease or that pest, but this plant itself isn't really prone to getting them. I don't really want to talk about propagating, because propagating any plant is like propagating pretty much every other plant, but I will run you through real quick. It's detailed on my blog, but seemingly like every other plant, you need to have a node, which is this. This is the node. This is where everything's growing from. This is the aerial root, so it'll help, but you just have to have that node. And then when you chop, you put it in water or spag or perlite and you let that node propagate. And I theoretically could chop this one to really show you, but look how pretty she is together. I'm not cutting her anytime soon. We are hoping she's gonna put out a new leaf soon, because sometimes they come in pairs, but it's not looking like it. That sucks. But that's it. This plant really is not that hard. This video is really just longer so that you can look at the leaf, because, woo! She's a pretty baby. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. So if you are in the market for a Cercestis Mirabilis, I hope that I provided you some information to maybe help you make your decision. They're totally worth it, in my opinion. They really are. They are worth being a wish list plant. They are worth asking for Christmas. They are worth budgeting for. There are some places online that you can find them. I go break down where you can actually buy these that I know of in my blog post, so feel free to go check that out. I'm not affiliated by any of those companies, so it's completely just places that I know that have a good reputation that I purchase or would purchase plants from. Other than that, ooh, what are you? You feel like you might be popping something out. How exciting would that be? Yay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone before I mess it up, mess with it too much. Go get you one, dude. That's all I got. That's it for today. Here's one more picture, video, clip of her leaf. Look at that. Oh, it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm sending you all the great plant vibes in the world. Thank you for watching. If you want more plant care information, click subscribe and like this video so that I know to do more of these. Have a wonderful day. Catch you on the flip side. You cute little forest animal.